Coach Guthridge and Dean Smith have never been far apart. Guthridge went to Kansas State, Smith to Kansas.
Our families knew each other. My granddad, Guthridge, was at Pittsburgh State Teachers College in Kansas, and he was the advisor to Dean Smith's mother.
Guthridge served as Smith's assistant for 30 years, helping Smith win the 1982 and 1993 national championships. He had many opportunities to go elsewhere and take a head coaching job, but he never did.
I made the decision then in the late 70s that I would stay here at North Carolina. My family liked it. The players were always great.
He got his opportunity as a head coach in 1997 after Smith retired, making it to the Final Four in 2 out of his 3 seasons as head coach. Guthridge will be inducted into the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame this May.
I was surprised that I got it, and I don't think I necessarily deserved to it.
Well, he deserves to be back with his good friend, Coach Smith, who was inducted more than 30 years ago. Who needs to run all the way to Franklin Street when you can just go right here? This is a portal or virtual window connecting Duke and UNC. Cheering in the student union, you can taunt Duke students in the Bryan University Center. 2 sophomores, one at Duke and one at UNC, thought of the idea. They say the portal isn't intended to divide the 2 campuses.
It's something we're really excited about, to see what kind of social connections we can make between Duke and UNC.
Chris Batchelder, the other co-founder, says these social connections can join the 2 campuses.
Having that virtual window that bridges the physical distance between Duke and UNC.
Batchelder says the portal is useful beyond just making new friends. Classes can gather in front of the portal, or he and Elder can make a smaller version for classrooms.
The ease of access, just literally walking up to the virtual window and saying, hey, get ready for class, and then everyone is all ready to talk through it.
Elder says there are plans to reach out to other universities across the state and across the nation. But for now, the portal belongs to Tar Heels and Blue Devils.
Although Duke and UNC are huge rivals in basketball and sports and maybe even other aspects of campus, that we share a lot in common, and we just want the portal to be one more thing that Duke and UNC together can say is something that's ours.
Ours, a word you won't hear too often tonight. Reporting in Durham and in Chapel Hill, I'm Will Reimer.
If we don't come together right now on this hollow ground, we too will be destroyed.
That's Denzel Washington playing Coach Herman Boone in Remember the Titans. This is the real Coach Herman Boone, preparing for a speech he gave on campus. So, did Washington do a good job portraying the real Coach Boone?
Denzel could talk to you for 1 minute and portray you. He's a superhuman being. If I had a son, I would like to name him after him.
But what's it like watching a movie about yourself?
It's like being in the back of a church and people are preaching your funeral. And you want to jump up and say, hey, wait a minute, that didn't happen this way.
Boone says the message of the movie is to learn to accept the soul of a man rather than dislike him based on the color of his skin. He says we haven't realized that goal yet, but he still has hope.
It's up to you, those of you who are going to replace us on the face of this earth. Make this earth a better place if you can.
Make this world a better place, like Coach Boone did.
I don't care if you like each other or not, but you will respect each other.
Changing the world, hand in hand.
Coming up on the December 3rd edition of Sports Extra, Blackjack, 21 NCAA titles for the women's soccer team. How do you spell domination? Does football make the grade? This play does, but we'll grade the whole team just in time for finals. And the men's basketball team is blazing on. All that and more. Sports Extra starts right now.
Coming up on the November 19th edition of Sports Extra. Goalkeeper Scott Goodwin saves the day for the men's soccer team. In field hockey, Carolina's the bridesmaid again. And he's back. Hubert Davis has high hopes for the basketball team. All that and more. Sports Extra's coming at you right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics, this is Sports Extra.
If you haven't looked at a map today, the state of Kentucky is now on the Atlantic coast. At least that's what the ACC says. The conference approved the addition of Louisville earlier today. The Cardinals will replace Maryland, who will leave the ACC in 2014. And earlier this week, Athletics Director Bubba Cunningham put to rest any rumors that North Carolina will join the Big Ten. He sent an email to Tar Heel fans saying the ACC has been our home for nearly 60 years, and we want it to be our home for another 60 years at least. We are part of a great league with a strong future. Strong future, sure, but last night was pretty weak for the conference and the Heels in the ACC Big Ten Challenge, and it was a Zeller, former Tar Heel Tyler Zeller's little brother, who did them in. Early in the first half, here comes that name again, Zeller. Cody Zeller was a terror for the Heels, especially when beating everyone down the court for easy breakaway baskets like his brother did. But the Heels have Dexter Strickland. He led UNC with 14 points. But they didn't have P.J. Hairston, who was out with a knee injury. And they could have really used his three-point shooting because things got out of hand in the second half. Indiana's lead got as big as 32 points, and the Heels took their second loss of the season, losing 83-59. Well, that one wasn't fun to watch, but the Heels will be in action again Saturday night. They'll take on a familiar foe. Former assistant coach Jared Haas returns to the Smith Center as head coach of the Alabama Birmingham Blazers, who has coached the Heels from 2003 till last season. And 10 Tar Heels were named to the ACC All-Conference football teams. Media members voted 4 Tar Heels as first-team selections. Running back Gio Bernard, offensive guard Jonathan Cooper, defensive tackle Sylvester Williams, and linebacker Kevin Reddick all earned the honor. Bernard was also the first-team All-ACC special teams player. And the football season might be over for the Heels, but some future Tar Heel stars are still in action over in Durham. Brenna Sukier has the story.
In Durham, I'm Brenna Sukier.
Those kids look more athletic than I am. Now, several Tar Heel teams are in the hunt for the national title. The defending champion men's soccer team can get a little revenge for the basketball team. Carolina plays Indiana Friday at Fetzer Field. The women's soccer team, they're obviously pretty happy about getting into the College Cup. You can see their excitement right there. It's the first time they're in the soccer's version of the Final Four since 2009. The Heels also play Friday, but they'll be out in San Diego looking to knock off #1 Stanford for a spot in the national championship. And the volleyball team is just starting its tournament. Carolina's in Iowa Thursday to face California in the NCAA tournament for the 3rd straight year. The teams have split the past 2 meetings. You know what, Alex? That means there's 3 teams in the hunt still for a national championship.
3 possible national championships. You know what? I'd just be happy with 1, Will.
Me too.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, Will.